Alright, gang, welcome back to our Pioneer Challenge on Alone in the World. July day 2, evidently, the whole sticking to June thing is not working in the menu. That's very weird to me. Still don't understand that. I did see a recent post and reply, I guess, comment on the most recent one that said, well, why are you even doing that? Well, the only reason why the goal of staying in June was there is because I saw that's what Rusty was doing, so I figured I would do the same thing. I would just follow suit, but yeah, I guess we're not doing that. I guess we're going all the way out throughout the year, so it is what it is. It's turned on, but for whatever reason, I guess it's just not, it doesn't want to accept it, so we're just gonna roll with it, I guess. In any case, we are taking 12,100 liters, to be exact, of sorghum over to a brand new mill, and we're gonna get started on making the flour. Now, I've also done a few other minor things off camera. Basically, I got rid of all the trees out of the other field that we kind of put a... I'm going the wrong spot. That we kind of put a outline in for the next field. I did get rid of all those trees. The stumps are still there. We're going to have to get rid of the stumps, but I'm going to go ahead and plow it up first before we do that. But I'm going to bring over some product here to our mill, so we can get that going. So that's what we're doing. So, I'm going to turn on the sorghum, and we're going to bring over some oat as well, so I'll turn the oat on. I'm going to leave the rest of the wheat there, and probably anything else we have is probably all going to stay in that silo, but we'll bring over at least another trailer load of oat, possibly another one of sorghum, but I don't think we have really enough in storage to do another full trailer load of sorghum. We do not. So we'll definitely bring over at least another load of oat. We might even bring over 2 loads of oat, honestly. I'm going the wrong way here. Got to get used to it now, man. We're driving all over the place now. So I also did one other minor thing. I sold the other trailer that we had bought, because eventually, hopefully here soon, maybe this episode if we're lucky enough, we will be buying a trailer for the semi that we purchased in the last episode, right? I just want to make sure these are on storing. They are. Good. Good. And we're underway now for making that 50,000 liters of flour. Selling 50,000 liters of flour, rather. But how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Not too bad here. Not too bad. Getting prepared. Let's see, at the time this video comes out, I should be, let's see, a little less than a week out, I guess, from being out of the country. I've talked about that many times up to this point now that I'm getting ready to be out of the country, and when that time comes, I will have very limited access to internet, so I probably will be a little bit slower than I normally am. I normally reply within 24 hours if I can to any comment that you make, but I might be a little bit slower. And I'll be gone for just over 2 weeks, like 2 weeks and 2 days, something like that. So, just a fair warning ahead of time. Then if I'm not replying when you normally expect me to, and I normally do, that's the reason why. So I apologize ahead of time. I just won't have a whole lot of access to it. I'm not buying a international plan or anything like that for 2 weeks. So then when I return, unfortunately, after I return, about 2 weeks after I return, something like that, I'll be gone again for a week for work out of the country. I'll be in Canada, so not too far away, but still out of the country nonetheless. I will have a lot more access to internet there, so I won't be, having a whole lot of missed replies in comparison to what my normal turnaround time is to replying to you, but I'll still be out of the town, and it happens to be the week when FS22 comes out. Well, supposedly. There's still a chance it could get delayed with the way that the world works now and the way that the gaming industry is now. It's almost guaranteed that every game gets delayed at this point. I hope it doesn't, but until it's actually physically released, I'm not going to say anything. But that's okay. It gives us a couple more days to try to clean up and finish up a few more of these series that we've got running around. I don't expect that there's going to be any issue with this series. I feel like this series will be able to be finished. I think this series only has 5 to 10 episodes at most left, and since we're doing it twice a week, it's a little over a month. I think this one will be done you know, probably a week before FS25 would typically come out, somewhere around there. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. It's not, you know, the stage 3 stuff is just building a bigger farm, which we're already in the process of doing, and getting the flour, which we're already working on, and then getting all the animals placed down. I mean, that's really the main objectives there. There are bonus objectives, which we've already done one, right? We've got the one making us some pig food, but we need to do one for, you know, hay and everything else. So all that's coming, but it's just a matter of, you know, getting there, and we're underway. We're on our way towards that point, so. So let's get one more load here of oat. I'm going to leave the rest of the oat here for Jester, so he'll need it. It looks like he still has a pallet. He does a pallet of, I think it's parsnip, right? So he's probably perfectly fine on food for now. Maybe probably needs a little bit more oat than he does the parsnip at this point, but yeah, he'll be okay. I don't think I'll be able to drop anything in here. I'm sure it's pretty much full, but yeah, I can't. So when we drop this off, we get this going. Actually, there's another thing to note here. This mill, with the oat, it actually gives us chaff. So we're going to have to figure out something to do with the chaff. I don't know what we're going to do with the chaff, but we'll figure something out. So for the semi-trailer that we want to get, the one we should get or look into getting, we need a little over 50 grand. We just hit 9 o'clock. We jumped to $64,911 because of those wood chips, mostly. There's other items, obviously, that we're still making and selling automatically. But, yeah, that pretty much gets us there. So if we were to go to the trucks here, we go to here, 54,000 is what we need for this one. It's not too bad, 16.8. It's just a slightly bigger than the one we have here currently, though. So realistically, I'd kind of want to get a bigger one, if that makes any sense. So we probably won't. Look how fast it's making that flour. Holy moly, I was not expecting that. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Man, it's okay. That is, wow. All right, well, we're gonna have a lot of flour then right off the bat, I guess. We're gonna have that objective completed in no time. Won't even take that many episodes. Are they still 1,000? I'm assuming they're the same. Yeah, 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, 8. There's 8 of them. We already have 8,000 liters. We only got 42,000 more liters to go. Okay, so that one's going to be accomplished very, very quickly. Now, the other thing I want to do today is start working on our yard area over here. I don't really have... I mean, I kind of have an idea, but I don't at the same time, if that makes any sense. But I know I want to put it over in this region. There's some more trees we need to get rid of. And as a matter of fact, I think it's going to be time for me to actually start to get rid of... Well, not even start. Just get rid of our little production over here. Now, granted, there are still trees over here we can take down off this hill, but I really don't think we're going to be focusing on this hill all that much anymore. I don't. The trees from this section and on, right, we can put over into the firewood thing, which probably needs some wood, actually. But in any case, we can take those and put them over there, so I really don't think we need this anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. Maybe not the most ideal. Now we've got just a random plot there, but we can figure something out to put there. We can figure something out. I mean, basically, right now, what we have is... I mean, we're working towards, you know, connecting both farms to make that one big, massive farm, right? So... what we need over here, realistically, in my opinion, is we need to get a shed of some sort. A big shed, realistically, would be nice. A big silo, bigger than the one we have over on the other side. We're certainly going to keep that one, but another silo nonetheless. And then we got to worry about all these animals, right? So we can do the bees easy. That's easy. We can do that right now if we wanted to. The others, not so much. I don't know if a dog would be considered as far as having animals in there as other or not, but nonetheless... So we've got to put down chickens again, pigs again, sheep again, horses, or not horses, cows. And that's it, I think. At least that's my understanding. Again, I haven't had a chance to discuss or talk with Crustu or Rusty yet, and I really haven't watched their videos recently. I've been so damn busy that I haven't had a chance to, unfortunately. But I think that's what that means when you know the rules say all animals except horse, because you already have a horse, so it says put down all animals again with the exception of a horse is what I'm reading that as. So I think that's the way I'm going to go about it, even if it's right or wrong. Until I hear differently, right? So, build a second approved farm, all animals except horse. That to me means we have to put them all back down again and sell 50,000 liters of flour. So, they're really not that hard of objectives. It's just a matter of getting this stuff down. So, even if we don't necessarily, you know, do anything with them, we can at least start planning to put some of this stuff down so we know, you know, what we're dealing with, right? We know where they're going to be at, right? Just kind of get everything set up. Just get their locations all put down and into a happy location. So the first thing we're going to do is put down some kind of shed. I want a relatively bigger shed, but I don't want a massive shed, if that makes sense. I don't want to spend 70 grand on a shed. I'm happy to spend half of that on a shed. Absolutely. Maybe even a little bit less than that would probably be more ideal, but I do not want to spend all $77,000 on that. I really don't. Now, we could always just do, you know, the old reliable shelter here. This shelter is fantastic. I love this thing. But I kind of want to go a little bit differently than that. I mean, something like this would be nice. I think that's just a garage, but I mean, I like the way that looks. I think the problem there is, you know, we're probably going to get a bigger harvester, right? And that harvester is not going to fit in there. So, I think we keep on looking, right? I mean, this is what we've already utilized, so it's just a different version of it, so we're not going to probably take that one. This one makes us money every month, but it is expensive. $840 a month is oof. I don't think that's really going to fit a harvester that we're kind of looking for either, right? So there's not going to be a whole lot really for us to probably choose from based off of what I'm giving you as my thoughts here. It's probably going to be all the stuff back here, which is all a lot more expensive. Unless we just go with an easy shed here. I use those pretty frequently, though. What about one of these? What about an arched shed? Now, I think we utilized this at one point for a brief period of time, doing a campaign playthrough, but it was brief. We didn't use it that much. I don't know. But again, where am I going to put it at, right? There's a lot of thinking for me to do here. So anyway, I kind of rambled there for a little bit. I apologize. Let's actually get to work here doing something here. So let's get this drilling going, or this plowing going, rather. Now, what I'm going to try to do here is, if you recall in the last episode, I kind of did the outline a little bit too far. Down on that corner down there, I expanded it, and I expanded it a little bit too far. So I'm actually going to do something a little drastic and shrinking that tremendously. It's going to look a little weird and a little awkward, but eventually we can probably buy that other plot of land, fix it up, you know, paint it, fix it up, whatever, and then sell it back. And really, we're not going to waste that much money doing that, and then it will look a little bit better. But that obviously isn't going to happen today. We don't have the money to do it today, but we'll see. So I apologize for that long ramble and about the yard and then not putting anything down, but you know how I am. I like to make, you know, I guess slightly OCD about stuff, and even though I've never been prescribed as or diagnosed as having OCD, but I feel like I partially have it when it comes to certain things like this. Like, I like things to be set perfectly and look nice, and it's not always the case. I know that people are way better at this game than I am, but I think you get what I mean, right? I want to make sure what I'm actually producing and showing to you is quality, right? It looks good, at least in my eyes. So we're gonna go down here, and when we get to a point where I think it's close enough, we're just gonna cut over and leave kind of a bit of a grass section, I guess. between what we had initially outlined and what we're going to do now. Something like that. Again, this is not perfect by any means. This is going to be very awkward looking over here to the left. It's just not going to look right for a little while, but just bear with me. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. Now, what are we going to put in here? Well, it's a great question. I think I'm leaning towards... I don't know. I guess I'm leaning towards some oat, probably. We also need to upgrade our lawnmower. Our mower of some sort. We need to get a bigger one because we're going to be doing cows and everything else, right? Sheep and everything else. So we're going to need grass. We'll probably still rock the loading wagon because that thing is so useful. But we got to get that sorted out too. We got to start mowing some of this grass up. Now, it's not the best grass in the world, but there's a plethora of the grass, so we might as well go ahead and utilize it. Now, I'm not doing it here because I'm making these into a field, right? I'm specifically making these a field. And by not doing that, I'm getting a second application of fertilizer for absolutely free. Just the time it takes for me to plow it up. All right, there's one stump. That's kind of the reason why I said I didn't get rid of the stumps yet. It's just easier if you just go ahead and plow the field up, and then it just kind of, they just kind of spawn up and show you exactly where they are. It's much easier to see them than trying to go through the grass like this and find them. So that's the reason why we do that. So I'm going to do a third headland pass here, and then we can start doing our more traditional up and down approach. But yeah. We're going to continue on here. We'll get all this field done. I'll figure out what we're going to put in it. We'll probably have a worker do most of that, most of the drilling on this. We've got a few other things we need to accomplish today. Most specifically, we've got to ride Jester around. I did not ride him on the last episode. I did that off camera. But we need to ride him. Then we need to brush them off, clean them up, all that good stuff. We need to check on all the other animals, make sure everything's kosher, that they don't need anything. And then we'll see where we're at as far as our time goes. So let's get to this. And let's get this field ready to go. Alright, gang, we had a slight change of plans again. I've kind of decided I'm going to just extend the yard where we had initially thought, right? So over there by our first mill, kind of wrapping around the hill there, that's where our yard is really going to be expanded to. I think it makes the most sense. Because we might not have, you know, two of everything, right? So if I put it there, that's relatively in the middle of both of our fields or our farms, whatever you want to call it. What we are going to do in that flat land over there by the mill that I said we probably would do as the yard, what we're going to put over there is we're going to put all of our animals over there. Every one of them. It's all flat land. It's perfect for that. That's the best spot to put it anyway. So that's what we're going to do. So that area with the mill will be all animals. And we'll work towards putting down all of those productions here relatively soon. Now, as far as putting the animals in them, it won't be happening for a little while, but the first step for me is I want to get all of them put down in the spot where I kind of like them, right? Where I want them to be at. And then from there, we can buy them once I feel we have a sufficient amount of food and everything else that we might need for them. We'll likely start with sheep. Sheep just, I think, makes the most sense because we have so much grass here. So we'll probably start with sheep. And we'll move on from there. This field has been all plowed up and ready to go. So we're doing our first pass here of the headland with the drill. We're putting soybeans in. Again, another soybean field. I know. Lots of soybean fields, but soybeans are our big money makers, so they're good for us. We've got a lot of other fields already that are going to be good for the flour and for animals of all the kinds that we have. So the soybeans are going to be good to continue to make us more money. Now we're going to continue this expansion of fields here, but I think after we're done with this field, I think the next step for me is to get rid of some more trees and begin our process of. Well, begin our process, I guess, of putting down all the different placeable productions, placeable pins, whatever you want to call it, for our animals. That's really my goal. So if I can get rid of more trees, makes us more money, and I can use it towards that. The flour, I have no worries at all. Like I said earlier on in this episode, I think we're going to meet the flour objective. We might even meet it in this episode, honestly. It's going to be close if we don't. Like, that's how confident I am with that. So I'm going to go around this a second time, and then I will throw it on a worker in kind of down here, somewhere down here in this spot down here, and hope they don't go the whole distance. If they do, they do, I guess, but that's my hope. One other note, I did put in another buying silo. You can see it right back there. I just thought it was worth it to put down another one. So I don't have to drive all the way back to the main yard for that, or I guess it's not going to be the main yard anymore, but the first yard, right? Just have one on each side. I just think it makes the most sense, so that's what I did. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that will stay where it is. I think it will, but if we need to move it, we can move it. That's kind of at the end of the area that I was going to say that we're going to make our new yard at, which is kind of an extension from the other one. Now, when we get around the headland here for the second pass, what we're going to do, like I said, is throw this on a worker, probably down there, because this is a very awkward-shaped field, so probably down there. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and get the other John Deere out, and we are going to get the stump grinder going and get rid of those stumps. Now, one other thing to note, off camera, I did put down a new open-air shed. Now, this open-air shed, it's not anything crazy. It's a very inexpensive open-air shed. But I think it's useful. And what I did is I moved our harvester into it. That's probably all it's ever going to be in it. On the outside, it has like a little overhang, so we can put some of our small implements there, like the plow, other things like that. But I think it makes the most sense. It's a little bit closer to these fields. It's a little bit closer, and then, it's kind of in the middle, I guess is what I should say. Middle of these fields and then our already established fields, right? And I think it makes sense right now because, we're not going to have multiple, harvesters more than likely. I mean, maybe we will, but more than likely we're not going to have more than one harvester. And eventually we'll upgrade that harvester, I'm sure. But right now, we're not going to. And it's a little slow moving. It's not a fast harvester by any means. It's got a good storage on it, a little unrealistic on the storage, but it is still a slow moving harvester. So to have it kind of in the middle, I think it makes a lot more sense. And I'll show that to you soon. You can kind of see it from here, actually. If you look far in the distance, you see that open air thing where the John Deere actually is, and you can kind of see the harvester just ever so slightly if you look close enough. So nothing crazy. It's not. I didn't break the bank or anything like that. I think it cost me $8,000, something like that. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. But that is only the beginning. We're going to absolutely insanely expand the yard from the other one, because that's really one of the main objectives, right? Build a bigger, better yard. In my mind, a bigger, better yard means we need a bigger, better yard. A bigger, better farm, in my eyes, means we need a bigger, better yard. So that's what we're going to go for. Will it actually end up being bigger than the other one? I don't know. Probably. Because the other one, we kind of have stuff spread apart a little bit. This one will probably be a little bit more cohesive. And what I mean by that is it'll all be closer together. It'll be a close-knit family of sheds and whatever else. So, I'm hoping the worker will do what I want them to do here, and they don't go haywire, but let's throw that on a worker. Let's go jump in the John Deere. Oh, here you go. Here's the shed. Here you go. It's not bad, right? It's nice. It's all open air. It's just a cover, basically. But it'll work nice. It'll work nice. And you can see it's right next to the mill. Did do a little bit of groundwork here. I have not done any more track work yet. We are going to work on that. But really, the yard will be kind of expanded in this. This whole area you see here that's flat, all of this is going to be turned into our new yard. So it'll definitely be bigger. And then there's our little buying silo over there. So no, he's going to continue on. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that. I don't know why he's carrying on. He shouldn't be. Like it's like I feel like I've done enough here to know that you don't continue on, buddy. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to try something different here. But the problem is he's going to run into those stumps if I don't get him out quickly. So we'll put him on over here and hope that we can get those stumps out before he catches up to us. Don't know if we will be able to or not, but we'll give it a shot. Quite a few to get rid of. Now, I want to quickly thank all of you who did jump over to my other channel and give it a subscription. I think, well, by the time this comes out, I should, in theory, be at 1,000 subscribers. So if you were one of those ones that did jump over there and give me a subscription, I really, really, truly appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you very much. It's been a rough row on that one. That one's well, a little bit slower, I think, for me getting there, and that's just because what I'm doing is just kind of a mishmash of anything I want to play. Not really a specific, game. Like this channel is only really just for Farming Simulator because I love Farming Simulator. That's just kind of a mishmash of different games that I feel like or I want to play. A lot of it's going to be Dynasty Warriors type of stuff, and then there's going to be some shooters. I love shooters as well. And then every once in a while, there's just a mishmash of a random game that just something that interests me for one reason or another. But anyway, I digress. This is Farming Simulator. This is not Zorch Entertainment Channel. Just wanted to thank you if you did happen to do that. I really, truly appreciate it. Alright, so there are a few more over here, I think. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was some over here somewhere. Actually, this one was really close to where we were drilling. I didn't even see this one. I wouldn't have put them down here if I would have known that. Okay, let's do the best I can do for a bird's eye view, because this is, after it's been drilled, this is the best way to make sure you haven't missed anything. I'm not seeing any. I think we got them all. One more quick pass here, just to double check everything. Yeah, we got them all. Sweet. All right. So I'm going to put this away. I'm actually just going to put it over on our new little open-air shed. Just to, stick it over there. Now, while the worker's continuing to do the drilling of this field, what we're going to do is try to put down a production of some sort, or a placeable, or whatever, a pen, for one of our animals. It'll likely be the sheep, but we may not have enough money for the sheep that the pen that I want to put down for the sheep. I don't know if we're going to have enough or not. I'll have to look into it. If it's not, we'll find something else, right? Now, I didn't ask the guys, like I said I was going to do. I've said that a couple times. I said that early in this episode, too. I didn't ask them. I'm just going to kind of go on a whim here and think that my statement was a correct statement. The fact that I have to put down every animal, even though I have chickens and pigs already down over here. I have to put down every animal again on this new farm, or new field, or whatever. New land. So that's what we're going to do. So let me drive over here to the mill, and I'll find a location and plop it down, and I'll be back with you once I've made my decision, because you know I'm relatively indecisive sometimes when I'm trying to figure out where I want to put something. So let me do that. I'll be back with you. Okay, 2 are down, gang. It's not the sheep. It is not the sheep. The sheep one that I want, we did not have enough money, so we'll have to work on that. I put down a smaller pig pasture here, and the reason why I put that down is because the other one we have is so large. So this one's a much smaller version. And we have a cow pasture, or a cow barn, rather. I really like this barn. I've never used it. I really wanted to use it, so we're going to do it. It's got a nice little drive-through here. I love the drive-through ones for the cows. Really, really like those. So there we go. There's 2 of them, and the door's shut, too, which is really cool. So we've got 2 of those down. Now, real quickly, I want to talk about this Midwest flour production mill, whatever you want to call it, the old General Mill. It produces flour, and just anything in general for that matter, so incredibly quickly. We currently have 31,561 liters of flour in storage, plus everything out here. You calculate all that up, we're like 7,000 liters away from making the 50,000 liters of flour already, before we've even really begun, which is another reason why I'm saying I don't think this is going to take us that long. I think the longest portion of this is going to be really getting the stuff we need for the animals, right? And expanding the field or expanding the farm, I should say, to have multiple fields. We've got 2 really relatively nice-sized fields here already, but let me stop him. Stop him. Oh, he's turning around. Look at that. He was actually turning around. He was actually doing what I wanted to do. Anyway, we've got 2 relatively nice-sized fields here already, but we've got a lot more land, which means a lot more fields still have to be created. So I think this is going to take us the longest. I'm going to leave a good section, I think, for grass. I don't even think I'm going to worry about putting in actual grass. I know you get more out of it. I just don't think it's necessarily worth it. I think it's going to cost more and take more time than just to mow the plethora of grass we have just laying around. So I'm kind of on board of let's not worry about it, take a tiny bit of a loss in comparison to how much we would get if we actually planted it ourselves, and just move on. That's kind of where we are. So, we spent a lot of money. As you can see, we're down to $17,000, so we spent a lot of money on those 2 placeables for the pigs and for the cows. Mostly the cows. The pig one was only, I think it was like $10,000 or $12,000. It wasn't much. The other one was a lot more, clearly. Now, we still have to put down a woodworking production again. Well, we have the firewood production still, which I need to put some more wood in there. I have not done that. I need to do that off camera. But we need to put down the same wood chip production over here somewhere, or something else altogether. I haven't fully decided that yet. I could go to the Tree Devour mod route. I utilize that a lot. I said I didn't really plan on utilizing it in this series, and I still kind of have that same mindset, but if we're at a stage where that's literally all we're waiting for, right? It's just trying to get money, and I'm doing it all off camera. What's the difference if I do it off camera with the Tree Devourer, or if I'm pulling it by the winch, right? If you're not watching it, what's the difference? So I'll think about it, I guess, is where I'm at on that one. But yeah, things are good. Now, we still have to get on Jester and ride him around, so I'm going to probably put this back on a worker now. And hope that the worker does what I want him to do. We're going to have to fill this back up. There's no way we're going to get this field completely drilled with what we have remaining, but the worker can at least do some of it for a little while. We'll just jump out of the lizard dog or the Peterbilt. We also had to buy a, a semi-trailer, a lorry trailer, whatever kind of trailer you want to call it, for that semi, because that's going to be extremely, extremely useful for us, because we're going to be carrying stuff back and forth a lot. A lot. This is a really fun challenge, though. I'm having a lot of fun with this challenge. More fun than I thought I was going to have. And not to say that I wasn't thinking I was going to have fun, but I just thought it wasn't going to be as enjoyable as it actually has turned out to be. I thought, I'd kind of speed through it and be like, this one's not exactly for me, but I've been proven wrong. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Challenges are good, right? They make you think, they make you reconsider what you should and shouldn't be doing, which I guess this sometimes is a bad thing for me since I'm very indecisive sometimes, but I think you get what I'm trying to get at or what I mean, right? Now, the other reason why I have decided to put all the animals where I decided to put them is because it's very close, and I should have probably tested it, I didn't, but it's very close to the outside water here, whatever this is, ocean, lake, whatever it is. It's very close to that, so we should easily be able to, drive a tank down there, fill it up with water, and bring it back to the animals relatively quickly. Now, I want to put down at least 1 to 2 more sheds, at least, minimum. And I want to put down a big, your typical looking silo. Not that I dislike our Pioneer silo, I like it a lot. But I want to put down your typical looking silo. If I can find an older, beat up one, even better. But I want to put down one of those, and I want it to be over here. That way, anything in the Pioneer silo will be something from this, our original field, our original farm. And anything in the new, big, latest and greatest large silo, whatever you want to call it, can be for all of the new fields over here that we're going to make. That's where I'm at least. I think this is probably long enough riding Jester, so let's get him back to his pen here, and we can brush him off. And then we can just double-check all of our animals that current, which is really just the chickens, Jester, and the pigs, and make sure they're all good. They don't need any food, etc. All right, Jester's back. He looks like he's okay, but we'll take a look at him here in just a second. Let's brush him off. Yeah, he's 100% everything now. So let's look at our animals here. Jester, he's fine. He really needs a little bit of hay, probably. His base food's about where it needs to be at, kind of. He's got a lot more root crops than he probably really needs, but that's okay. I mean, it's going to be there. I can't pick that up still. There's still a lot in there. 1,293 liters of parsnip. There's still a ton in there. That's probably going to do him for a while. They could use a little bit of food, but they're not bad. Again, same thing here with the pigs. They're fine as well. So, not concerned there at all whatsoever. Now, I left $17,000 for a reason. I don't think we're going to do it in this episode, but I've talked about it earlier in this episode. We're going to get rid of this mower. It's been good for us early on, but it's time for us to get something bigger, something a little bit wider, and will hopefully save us a little bit of time. So, having said all of that, even though we're not going to necessarily buy it today, we're going to take this to the shop now, and we're going to sell it now. Just get it out of our hair, gives us a little bit more money, and we can go from there. I do need to upgrade or expand the grapes out as well. We really need to have some more grapes, I think. We've got a decent amount, but it's really not enough to make a whole lot. We talked about that prior when we had a very, very small amount. We really couldn't make any grape juice at all. We are still making some here. There should be a pallet that's spawned at least, a minimum, but there's not going to be much. So we'll come back and we'll take a look at that here once I sell this and make us a little bit of money. Alright, let's see what we get here. Repair, repaint, 12,222. Repair, repaint, 2,864. Back up to 30 grand. We'll take it. That gives us a little bit more money to play with. As a matter of fact, you know, we may not be able to bring it back right now, but let's just take a look. Oh, not grassland care. We mean mowers. Let's just take a look in here. I don't want to do what I normally do. What I normally do is, you know, swathers of some sort, or these cutting bar things. I don't want to do the cutting bar ones. I'd like to do something different. Ideally, early on, we probably should have went with this. This thing is pretty sweet. I love this thing. Old school. Probably should have went with that, but, I mean, that would have taken an absolute eternity to do. So yeah, we're not quite where we want to be. I could get the Batwing, I guess. This is what we call the Batwing. But what, you know, what I want to buy, we're not quite there yet. So yeah, we'll have to hold off a little bit longer on doing the mowing. So let's go see how the worker's doing. Not bad. There's still a good chunk to go here, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it off the worker for now. We're going to go fill up the tanks here because they're a little low. And by a little low, I mean one has 32 liters left in it, the other one has 102. So basically, gone. You need to back up and reset the trigger here. Alright. And we can carry on now. Now, another thing we need to upgrade eventually is this drill. I love this drill. We utilize this drill so much. I mean, it's almost we overkill how much we utilize this drill with this one or the John Deere version. Either one. They're the same thing. We use them a lot. So, really we need to upgrade this as well at some point here soon. Now, there is a harvester out there. However, this harvester is actually worse than the one we have. So, we're not going to focus on that one. But we're going to continue on here, drilling this field. It won't take long, and this field will be all done and ready to go. So I think with that, gang, we're going to leave the episode there. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. It's free. It helps me out a ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those. Yeah, FS22 is looming, gang. It's going to be here before you know it. It really is. But with that, we're going to leave it there. I'll catch you all in the next one. Gang, we have a major issue. As you can see, I have a black screen. If I hit start, I can go into the menu and see everything. But the screen is black. And if I go down here, you can actually even see the outline. But every time I load this game up, it gives me a black screen. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We might not be able to continue this series here, gang. So here it is, my Alone in the World. There's my save file for it. There's everything we have. If I hit start, wait for it to load. Okay, it's loaded. If we hit start, black screen again. So I just installed a few mods, and this is specifically for the Broke to Billionaire Challenge on Ohio Richmond, some cookie mods. I was able to get into that file, no problem, but this file blackens out every single time I try to load it up now. I'm going to try uninstalling those and see if we can get back in here. If not, this series may just have to end up being over. So let's just check the Ohio Richland series and make sure we can get into it. And then if we can, I will uninstall those mods and we'll try to load it up again and see what happens. Now, this is not a normal intro, and I apologize if this is... You don't really care about this. I'm sure you don't care about this, but I just want to be upfront and honest with you that we might not be able to continue the Alone in the World Pioneer Challenge at this point. If there's something else wrong with that file and it's become corrupt, I don't feel like starting all over again and going all the way through that again. Man, this could really suck here. Loads up, no problem whatsoever. None. No issues at all. I'm afraid that file is corrupt, gang. Shit. Let me see if I can uninstall those, if I can find them and uninstall it. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it'll load this time. Man, this is gonna be really disappointing. I was really getting into this series. I mean, not that I wasn't to begin with. I also thought it was a fun series to begin with, but we were just getting ready to really start beginning the stage 3 stuff, right? We probably only had 5 to 10 episodes left, honestly, in the series anyway, but Because it's not going to take as long to finish the stage 3 stuff. It really wasn't. Man, this sucks. Please work. Please, please, please let it just be those mods. Because if it's just those mods, it sucks. But at least I know for a fact now that's the problem. Okay, it's one of those mods. Whew. Okay, well at least we know. I'll probably put all of this stuff towards the end of the episode, the very end of the episode altogether. And then if you're interested in it, then there it is. But whew. Okay.